Did you try to kill me?
Victor, what are you gonna do? Finish the job? What the fuck? Man, you made a mistake.
If I take his ass out, then all our problems go away. I vow to show up for those that need help. You're supposed to have my back.
You are under arrest for the murder of Quentin Dickinson.
Is everything okay?
No,
What do you want?
I don't want people to hate me.
You can't buy me out to ease your conscience.
Calling him a traitor.
Don't bite the hand that freed you.
You kept quiet, right?
The Cheese Season 7, Episode 9 is about to change everything. And if you thought Reggie crossing the line was the peak of the drama, you haven't seen anything yet. There's a storm coming, and it's not just emotionally, it's deadly. Emmett's fate hangs by a thread, and the people who claim to love him are either on edge or breaking down. If he dies, the ripple effect will tear everyone apart. And trust me, based on what we've seen so far, there's no going back. Asterisk, let's start with the one question haunting everyone right now: is Emmett really dead? The last episode left us breathless. That gunshot wasn't just another hit him in the chest, blood, chaos, screaming, then silence. Emmett collapsed, but what came after was even more heartbreaking. The trailer for episode 9 doesn't show him conscious. Not once. Instead, we see Jada crying uncontrollably, Keisha clutching her belly in distress, and Darnell looking like he's about to collapse under the weight of it all. You know what that means. No hospital bed scene, no breathing mask, no Emmett fighting for his life, just a family staring into the darkness. The show wants us guessing, wants us anxious, and it's working. Because if Emmett is gone, this entire story flips on its head. And what makes this even more painful is that no one saw it coming. Emmett had just started to pull his life together. He was finally stepping up as a man, as a father, as someone who wanted peace, not war. He tried to walk away from the mess Reggie left behind. He tried to protect Tiff, support his kids, and forgive those who had hurt him. But in the Chi, that kind of peace is dangerous. When you're trying to be better, someone always wants to drag you back down, and that someone is Reggie. Reggie crossed a line when he came for Damien. He took a broken man and fed his addiction. He watched Damien spiral, then stood by when Emmett took the fall. That confrontation in the last episode wasn't just a fight, it was a declaration of war. And now, someone's bleeding out in a hospital while Reggie walks free. How long do you think that's gonna last? What's even more chilling is that no one seems safe anymore. The trailer shows Nuck on the move fast, furious, and clearly ready to make someone pay. And if you've been watching closely, you already know Nuck doesn't bluff. He might have turned over a new leaf for his son, but if someone threatens his family, even someone like Reggie, he's coming for blood. And then there's Jake. Poor Jake. The kid has always been caught in the middle, but this time you can see it breaking him. He's standing in the hospital hallway, fists clenched, eyes cold. He trusted Reggie. He looked up to him. But now, it looks like he's finally done pretending. Reggie didn't just hurt Emmett, he hurt everyone connected to him. And now, even Jake can't ignore it anymore. As for Damien, the guilt is written all over his face. In the episode 9 trailer, he can barely look at anyone. He's shaking, pacing, muttering to himself. This wasn't just a relapse, it was a betrayal. Emmett tried to save him, and now Emmett might be gone. Damien knows that. He knows what he cost them. And based on the trailer, it looks like he's about to make a decision he can't take back. The question is, will he try to fix what's broken or destroy what's left? And then there's Tiff. She's sitting by herself in that cold hospital corridor. Head in her hands, broken in a way we haven't seen before. Her entire world is crashing. Emmett, the man she still loves in spite of everything, might be dying. And Vic, nowhere in sight. That kiss they shared, was it real? Or was it just another mistake in a long line of regrets? The trailer shows her reaching for Alicia. Why? We don't know yet. But something tells me Tiff is about to lean on the last person she ever expected, because when the people closest to you fail, you look for comfort wherever you can find it. One thing is clear, that Chi isn't playing around anymore. This isn't about petty drama or street rivalries. This is about life and death. About whether this family can survive what's coming next. And if Emmett dies, the answer might be no. But if he lives, oh, you better believe Reggie's got something to fear. Because the people left behind are done forgiving. They're done waiting. They're done hoping things will get better. They want justice. They want revenge. And they just might tear the South Side apart to get it. Asterisk, everything about episode 9 is pointing to a full-scale emotional collapse. And the cracks are already spreading. Let's talk about Jade Abby, because this woman has carried more pain than anyone else on the show. She's already battling cancer, fighting for her life day by day, trying to keep her faith while watching her son fight demons she can't protect him from, and now this, her baby, her Emmett Lee, somewhere between life and death. You can see the devastation in her eyes in the trailer. It's not loud, it's quiet, it's cold. That kind of grief that settles in your bones and makes it hard to breathe. She doesn't cry out, she breaks inward. And that is even more terrifying. Because if Emmett dies, what does Jada have left to hold on to? Every time she finds a little peace, the world takes it from her. This time, it might be the final blow. And you know who else can't take it anymore? Keisha. That girl is a warrior, no question. She's holding up a house full of kids, keeping everyone fed and safe. And she's doing it all while carrying another life inside her. But she's running out of strength. The trailer shows her sitting in that hospital room, holding her belly like it's the only thing grounding her to this earth. She's trying to stay calm, trying to be strong for her kids, for Emmett's kids, but you can see it in her face. She's exhausted. Emmett was her safe place. The one who promised that no matter how hard things got, they'd survive it together. But now, he might be gone. And Keisha's got no room to fall apart, even though everything inside her is screaming. That's what makes this moment so heartbreaking. She has to hold it all together, when all she really wants is someone to hold her. Meanwhile, the silence from the hospital staff is deafening. No one's talking, no one's telling the family anything. That kind of silence. It's never a good sign. They're waiting, just like we are. Waiting to see if the next person who walks through that door will say, Emmett's stable, or that it's too late. And in that silence, all the characters are spiraling. Damien is in full self-destruction mode, and from the look of it, he's about to make a move that could shift the entire narrative. Maybe it's a confession, maybe it's something darker. But the weight of what happened to Emmett is crushing him. And when a man with nothing left to lose gets pushed too far, anything can happen. Especially in the Chi and Reggie. Oh, Reggie is still walking around like he didn't just break this family into 1,000 pieces. He thinks he's untouchable. Thinks that just because he's been playing the long game, no one's gonna check him. But he doesn't see what's coming. Nuck is already circling, and this time, he's not looking to negotiate. Nuck warned him before, keep the drama away from his son. But now, that drama just put Emmett in the hospital. And that's going to be a problem. A serious one. Because Nuck isn't just thinking like a former street boss anymore. He's thinking like a father. And when a man like that feels like his family's been attacked, he doesn't just retaliate. He ends it, period. There's also a new kind of tension, building something that's bigger than personal feuds. In the trailer, there's a short, almost unnoticed shot of Doda watching the chaos unfold from a distance. That smirk on his face. That's not surprise. That's satisfaction. Because Doda thrives on pain. He knows that when people are grieving, when they're broken and desperate, they're easier to control. And if Emmett dies, it opens up the kind of power vacuum Doda loves to exploit. He's been quiet lately. Almost too quiet. But now he's watching his enemies unravel without lifting a finger. And that silence might just be the most dangerous thing in this whole episode. Let's not forget Vic either. His absence from the trailer speaks volumes. Last time we saw him, things between him and Tiff were heating up, and now he's nowhere. It raises a huge question. Did he back away after the kiss? Or did something else happen? Is he hiding because he feels responsible for what went down? Or is he staying away because he knows he crossed a line? Either way, Tiff is alone, and Vic being Mia is only adding to her heartbreak. Everyone is fractured. Every relationship, every friendship, every fragile bond, they're all under pressure. And with the clock ticking, something is about to snap. There's no room left for small mistakes. One wrong move, one angry outburst, one act of revenge. And it could spiral into something much bigger. The Chi has never been afraid to show us the cost of violence, but this time, it feels different. More personal, more final. This isn't just another cliffhanger or a setup for next week. This is the moment everything changes. And whether Emmett lives or dies, nothing will ever be the same. Let's talk about the man at the center of the chaos, Emmett, and everything he represents to the people around him. He's not just a son, or a partner, or a father. He's the thread that holds multiple families together. When Emmett hurts, the whole world around him starts to break. And now that his life is hanging in the balance, every choice, every mistake, every secret is coming to the surface. Because Emmett didn't end up on that hospital bed by chance. He got there because of a chain reaction of betrayal, manipulation, and silence. The Chi has always been about consequences. And in this episode, they're crashing down hard. Reggie may have pulled the trigger metaphorically, but he's not the only one who failed Emmett. Damien made the choice to gamble again. He made the choice to get involved with someone he knew was toxic. But what hurts more is that Emmett didn't walk away from him. He tried to help. He stepped into danger to protect someone he considered family. That loyalty, that heart, that's what made Emmett special. And now, he might be dead because of it. Damien's guilt is a ticking time bomb. In the trailer, we see him alone in the hospital chapel, kneeling with his head in his hands. That image says everything. He's not praying for strength, he's begging for forgiveness. But if Emmett doesn't make it, no amount of prayer will bring him peace. And as all of this is going on, the emotional energy around Reggie is shifting. His power is starting to rot from the inside. He's spent so long manipulating everyone, using fear to keep people in check. But the loyalty is fading. People are starting to see the damage he's causing. In the trailer, we catch a glimpse of Jake standing across from Reggie not as a little brother, but as a man looking at a monster. That bond is breaking, and once Jake finally turns his back for good, Reggie loses his strongest shield. He's burnt too many bridges. And now, he's about to stand alone in a city that's turning on him. This brings us back to Nuck, who is quickly becoming the wild card of the season. The Nuck we're seeing now isn't the same man we met before. He's not just reacting, he's calculating. He sees the bigger picture. He knows that taking Reggie out might not just be personal, it might be necessary. Because if Reggie is willing to endanger people's lives just to maintain control, how long before someone else gets hurt? Nuck doesn't want to go back to that life. But the Chi doesn't let anyone walk away clean. And the more Reggie pushes, the more likely it is that Nuck steps back into the shadows to make a very permanent move. You can see it in his eyes in the trailer. He's done waiting. Let's not ignore Alicia either. Her name shows up in the synopsis for a reason. She visits Tiff in the hospital, which might seem random, but it's not. Alicia is deeply connected to this world, and she knows when to move. Maybe she's there for Tiff, or maybe she's there to pull strings behind the scenes. Either way, when Alicia shows up, something always shifts. Could she be the one who convinces Tiff to make a decision she's been avoiding? Could she help push Nuck in the right direction? Or is she playing her own game altogether? The trailer keeps her presence quiet, but we know better. Alicia never appears without a plan. Meanwhile, Tiff herself is standing at a major crossroads. She's caught in a storm of regret and heartbreak, unsure who to turn to. Emmett's condition is forcing her to face everything she thought she could avoid: her feelings, her mistakes, her future. In one shot from the trailer, she looks at Emmett's family through the hospital glass, her face filled with guilt. Not because she walked away, not even because of Vic, but because deep down, she still loves him. Always has. And now, she might lose him forever. This moment is going to define who she becomes. Will she collapse under the weight of it all, or rise to become someone stronger than she's ever been? This entire episode feels like a pressure cooker. Every emotion is turned up to the max, and everyone is on the verge of snapping. Darnell, usually the quiet backbone, is visibly cracking. His son is dying, his wife is sick, and he's realizing he can't protect either of them. He's supposed to be the elder, the man with answers, but now he's just another father trying to keep from falling apart. And in a world where grief often turns to rage, Darnell might just surprise us. Because if Emmett dies, there's no telling what he might do or who he might blame. This is the kind of episode that leaves scars. The kind people don't recover from. Because whether Emmett survives or not, something inside each of these characters is going to die. Innocence, hope, trust, maybe all three. And that's what makes this episode so dangerous. It's not just about a single bullet. It's about what that bullet destroyed, what it changed forever. And as we head into the final stretch of the season, one thing is clear: the Chi isn't giving anyone a happy ending without a fight. Asterisk. There's one thing we've learned from watching the Chi season after season: violence doesn't just end. With one act, it ripples. It poisons. It spreads like fire until everything it touches is scorched beyond recognition. And in episode 9, those ripples are crashing down. We're not just watching people cry over Emmett's body, we're watching a community unravel. Everyone's trying to keep calm, trying to keep the peace. But grief doesn't play by the rules. People are going to point fingers. Secrets are going to come out. And when the truth hits the streets, that Reggie played a part in this, going to stay quiet. Not anymore. The silence after a shooting is always the loudest part. There's a moment where everyone holds their breath, hoping for a miracle, bracing for a loss. But that moment never lasts. Sooner or later, someone wants answers. Someone wants justice. And justice in the Chi, it rarely comes with police reports or trials. It comes with whispers, with warnings, with weapons tucked into waistbands. And that's what's so terrifying right now, because this time, it's not just the street guys getting involved. It's the people who've tried to do things the right way. People like Nuck, people like Jake, even Damien. They're standing at a fork in the road, and the path they choose might decide whether the whole city explodes. Let's zero in on Jake, because his transformation is one of the most powerful threads in this story. He's been stuck between worlds, for so long torn between loyalty to Reggie and the truth that's been right in front of him. But what happened to Emmett? That broke the illusion. In the trailer, you can see Ichek isn't confused anymore. He's angry, focused, hurt, and if there's one thing more dangerous than a gangster with a gun, it's a good man who's lost someone he loves. Jake looked up to Emmett in a quiet way. Emmett showed him what it meant to grow up, to be responsible, to love your people and still fight for better. Losing that kind of example, it changes you. Jake might not want revenge, but he's definitely not about to let Reggie keep walking like nothing happened. That bond is severed, and the fallout is going to be brutal. And while we're talking about bonds, there's something shifting in the women of the Chi too. Keisha, Jada, and Tiff aren't just side characters mourning a man. They're pillars, they're protectors. And right now, they're all in pain. But that pain could become their power. We've seen glimpses of this before, moments where the women step in to clean up the mess the men leave behind. But this time, it's personal. This time, it's about survival. Jada might be physically weak, but her heart, unbreakable. Keisha's got her kids, her unborn baby, and a fire in her soul that won't let her fall. And Tiff? Well, Tiff's at a crossroads. The world expects her to crumble, but she might just come out of this harder, colder, and more determined than anyone expects. Don't be surprised if these women become the center of what comes next. Because when men fall, women rise. Still, there's one player in all this who remains a shadow. Dauda. You can feel his presence even when he's not on screen. The way everyone's scared to make a move without checking who's watching. That's Dauda's influence. He thrives in the background. But if Reggie starts to spiral, if Nuck goes off the rails, if Damien breaks under pressure, Dauda will swoop in. He'll offer protection, deals, control. Not because he cares, but because power is his addiction. In a fractured city, that's the perfect playground for someone like him. So don't be surprised if episode 9 ends with a power shift. Not just in the streets, but in the hearts of the characters we thought we knew. Because once Dauda moves, the game changes completely. There's a storm of regret building over the South Side and no one is ready. Not really. Not Jada, not Nuck, not Jake, or Tiff, or even Reggie. Because once that hospital door opens, once the doctor steps out and delivers the news it's over, either hope dies or rage is born. And both are dangerous. Because the Chi doesn't give its characters peace, it gives them choices. Live with the pain or pass it on. And with every second Emmett clings to life, that choice becomes more real for everyone in his orbit. And finally, there's something else creeping into this episode. Something we haven't talked about yet. Not just fear of death, but fear of what happens after. What happens if Emmett wakes up and can't walk again? What if he has brain damage? What if he wakes up angry, broken, changed? Will the people around him still know how to love him? Will he still know how to love himself? And what if he doesn't wake up at all? Who carries that weight? Who steps up and becomes the glue? The answers aren't easy, and the Chi has never promised us easy. It's promised us truth. And the truth right now, it hurts. Now we've reached the breaking point, because no matter how this episode ends, the world of the Chi will never look the same again. Episode 9 isn't just about whether Emmett lives or dies. It's about everything that moment represents. It's about the pain of being betrayed by people you trusted. It's about the weight of choices made in weakness, and the fire that comes when those choices burn everyone around you. It's about family broken, bleeding, but still trying to hold on. And it's about a community that keeps getting tested over and over again, with no promise of healing. We're staring at a tragedy that didn't come out of nowhere. This was a slow build. From Damien's quiet addiction, to Reggie's obsession with control, to Nuck's attempts to stay clean for every one of them, this moment is a consequence. And now they have to face it. The trailer for episode 9 is short, but it hits like a punch to the chest. It shows us raw emotion eyes filled with tears, fists clenched, hearts breaking in silence. But what it doesn't show is resolution. That's the most terrifying part. We don't know what happens to Emmett. We don't know who's going to snap. We don't know if this grief turns into something more violent, more final. There are too many loose ends, too many characters, teetering on the edge. Damien, with guilt twisting his insides. Jake, whose rage is bubbling just beneath the surface. Nuck, who's quiet, too quiet and who's probably planning his next move with deadly precision. And Reggie. He's the match, the fire starter, the one who lit this whole thing and is still walking like nothing happened. But that's going to end. It has to. Because if there's one thing the Chi teaches us again and again, it's that no one escapes. The consequences forever. And it's not just the men who are about to break. The woman's Yada Kesha.